Hello, this is J.N.S, and I want to cover this online community center for Black Americans that I had built. It's a website that I had built in great detail because we can really benefit from a center that just focuses on us in every aspect of our very existence, whether it's the community building or just having a place to relax and to talk about things in regards to like a think tank or something. So this community center that you see on your screen, anyone can join, and I want to cover what I included on the website itself. So a lot of people don't know this, but I used to do web design and stuff like that. So that's why I put this all together for us, because I was thinking of ways like, well, how can we actually communicate with one another on specific topics, whether that be in the forum or whether that be in live chat. So I was just thinking of like, how do we faction that off in a way that's safe, in a way that could be productive for us, or just have fun, like there's forums and there's other places in the center itself where you could just have fun. So I want to give you a walkthrough. And when you first get on a page, you see the Nakhti University Community Center, and then you see like a video of a student walking and stuff. So that's just the quick overview when you first get there. So here's another video of a student painting or whatever. So I'm just going to read it to you. There's an online community center and student lounge. You can join the forums to exchange information, live chat, meditate, participate in groups, and share files. Use this lounge to relax and keep up to date with the community. All community members are invited to join whether they are enrolled in a course or not, and are usually personally invited by me. So what do we do? These sections cover some of the services and goals, and we will go into great detail about the centers itself and the forums, but I want to detail a little bit about Nakhti University before we get into that. So I had started Nakhti University in 2021, and it was really supposed to be an e-learning market place and a research center. That was the ideas I had in mind, was for it to be an e-learning marketplace that focused on STEM courses, professional development courses for Black Americans, as well as mental health emphasis in terms of taking a course and having interactivity beyond just a course. So it operates as an e-learning marketplace and a neo-HBCU. So a neo-HBCU is a term that I just came up with because it's an updated version of a higher learning institution, and it focuses on being a massive open online course provider aimed at professional Black Americans and students, and even teenagers for that matter, because it's an open course network. So we all know that an HBCU is a college or a university that was founded to educate Black American students or students of Black American descent. So that's what it was, what an HBCU is historically for. But in today's time, I think that it needs to be a bit updated, and it's a neo form of how to do education in terms of the self-paced course, the interactivity within the course, but making it in a 3.0 version where there is collaboration, there is groups, there are online apparatuses that provide an extensive amount of social aspects as well. So it's Nakhti University is a MOOC. It's a model for delivering online content in any discipline or field per course with no limit or attendance. That's what a MOOC is. So the emphasis again is STEM and professional development courses, mental wellness, and a growth mindset for the Black American community. So what is a growth mindset? I want to cover that a little bit, and then we're going to go right back into the community center itself. So a growth mindset means that you believe your abilities and intelligence can be developed through hard work, strategies, and feedback. So people with a growth mindset, they see failure as an opportunity to learn and grow from their mistakes. But on the other hand, those who have a fixed mindset, and this is a very big thing in education itself, but those who have a fixed mindset, they believe that their abilities is set in stone, like they believe that it's innate and they can't grow. And people with a fixed mindset see failure as a sign that they are just not smart enough or not talented enough. So they internalize that, and that affects that in turn affects them in their their potential and their ability to even maintain success. So there's been research that has been proven that those with the growth mindset have more success in life than those with a fixed mindset, because they're more likely to take risks than persevere. Even in the face of obstacles, in the face of setbacks, they're still going to see the opportunity to rise. And again, this is a mindset that you have to train on. And the way society sets up our communities, it's inadvertent and I would say purposeful, but they're these hidden structures of institutions that facilitate a fixed mindset. So I argue that could be by design, or that's just the way it is for everybody in the United States. I'm not sure, but for me, it's like, well, if you can put a growth mindset in the community, have it disseminated amongst the parents, the college educated students, the kids, and they have this mindset going on, in the face of the adversity that we face currently, you're going to see different outcomes regardless of what they do to us, because the mindset is already set in stone, where I can rise, I can increase my intelligence, I can increase and do whatever I want to do on this earth, on this planet. So that is why the growth mindset is so important to me, because I've seen that in my own life and from my own background, how that has helped me. And my background is real insane, you know, in terms of like the statistics of people who make it out, or people who accomplish what, and given my background as from when I was a kid and whatnot. But yeah, the growth mindset is something that I believe should be disseminated to children, to the adults, to the teenagers, and to the college students as well. So it's very important for me to encourage that for Black Americans. So all of the courses are self-paced, and they're offered in 2 formats. Now, the 2 formats are instant courses and pre-enroll courses. The instant courses are immediately available. They do not require like group collaboration. They're instructor-led, you know, and most of the courses are instantly available upon purchase, and are self-paced. But there are other courses where it's pre-enrolled, where it allows for the group discussions, the video conferences, assessments. They're a lot more in-depth, and there's certification for those courses. And it requires traditional standards for e-learning, but also it does have interactive components as well built within the course itself. So it depends on what kind of learner the student is, you know, in terms of like which format would they rather go with. Would they rather go with the pre-enrolled course or the self-paced course? So it's just up to the student to decide on which path. And again, this is per course. So these courses are skills for professional development, and particularly like in the STEM field. So the software engineering, Python, JavaScript, TensorFlow, data analytics, all of the stuff that one would kind of need to kind of propel themselves in the next phase of their career or even business. So there's a lot of emphasis on informal learning, which is where the community center comes in, and mental wellness, and the student lounge itself is designed to build community specifically and facilitate informal learning for those who may be taking a course, and for those who are not. It's a community-based structure for Black Americans. It's a school that's 100% funded by me. I have zero corporate backing. I have no handlers. I have nothing. It's just me. I can go any direction I want, since I'm not controlled. And that feels good, but it's also a struggle in marketing, and I'm not the best marketer. So I'm learning marketing. You know, I'm one of those people that, like, if I don't know something, just go learn it and try your best, put your best foot forward in everything that you do. But it means, what it means for me to be 100% independent like that is that the community has to support me as much as possible. They have to support this endeavor because it's for us. I don't mind building things for us at all, but it's like you have to be there to support it and to take advantage of it, see value in it, because it's on par. It's not like I just didn't research this or didn't think of what kind of courses would Black Americans need. You know, I know we need STEM. I know we need vocational skills as well. I know we need pop-up shops and centers to facilitate things that are in our best interest. So we need these things. So you know, support in every way that you can. That's all I ask, because it is funded by me, and that it is what it is. So I want to get back to the center. So that was just, I just wanted to give a sense of like, okay, what is Nakhti University like, you know? So for those who didn't know, then now, you know, now you kind of got a sense of what that is. So here's the rest of the website. So we have all of the videos of me teaching and my books as we scroll down, and we'll be working on the apps. We'll eventually have an app for this in Play Store. So the first thing that you see is the forum. So the forum is great for discussions, and they're based on categories. So the main forum is for everything that's community based. It's general, so the topics can range. That's the main lounge, and we can add any type of forum. If whatever forums you want, you could just email. We can have one for gamers. We can have one for anime. You know what? I forgot to put one for anime because I'm actually watching Shaman King, and I'm getting into the anime more than ever. So we may need to do an anime forum, but you know, any type of forum that you have that is not, that you don't see on there, we can add it. Like it's no big deal. So, and we will add it. So what you can see now is like this. I was just thinking of forums to start. So I put the Queen Mothership discussion, a forum about metaphysics. Metaphysics is very special to me. I love that topic. Gardening and meal prep. There's a lot of people in that. I not into the outdoor gardening. I did more of I used to do microgreens indoors. I have plant lights everywhere and shit like that. We have the Wild Wild West forum, and the Wild Wild West forum, that's used to hash out big disagreements. You can get buck wild in there. I will be monitoring to make sure there's no like threats. Like you cannot be saying let's meet up and we gonna shoot it out, and like you can't do no shit like that. But if there's a big disagreement in one forum and you find that it's getting derailed and there's just two people just going back and forth arguing like cats and dogs, you gotta take it to the Wild Wild West forum. It's for major disagreements. It's to prevent derailment of the threads itself. You can argue, call each other out your name, do whatever, but it's the Wild Wild West. You know, I still have to, we have to have limits. You know, I try while it's the Wild Wild West, while you arguing, make sure in your mind that you thinking of consensus at the end. That, okay, hash it out and move on. You know, this is not, so I will be looking at that. You have the Human Sexuality Forum. That is also Wild Wild West, but for sexuality. That is where you're going to be discussing anything sex related. Now, again, I'll be monitoring that because this is for 18 plus. So there can be nothing relating to kids in there. It cannot be anything relating to bestiality or sexual violence. But anything else regarding the juiciness of sex, discuss it. I love it. I'm here for it. The delights of stories, erotica. That is what that forum is for, to share crazy stories of your sex life, to talk about, to discuss sex in an educational sense. If you want to know certain things about pleasure and all that, that goes in the Human Sexuality Forum. And that is for Black Americans. Go in there and enjoy it. Then we have the Black Women's Book Club, Black Men's Book Club. I might change that because I don't think you can have a forum with a book club. That needs to be in the group section out, and I'll explain what groups are in a bit. I'll probably just put it as a Black Women's Club or Black Men's Club. There's something for them to have a safe space for themselves to discuss things as men and women. And then we have the Prepping and Survival. Prepping and Survival is like one of my little hobbies that I like to do. You can talk about anything relating to the prepping community on that. And then we have a gossip forum. That's usually for celebrity gossip. I know a lot of people in the community, they just be liking to talk some shit or whatever. So that is a fun forum for celebrity gossip. There's no doxing of actual individuals in that community. Or like starting rumors about random people. But if it's just juicy topics, like the situation with Kanye West, that's pretty juicy. And again, we can add forums. We can add an anime forum. We can add a forum for music, just hip hop, whatever you want to do. That is the center. It's for us. So that's how you have to look at it, a center for us. And so here's the live chat room. And these are great for me to know with people on the spot or to have a conversation in real time with a select group of friends. And you can make a guest account. You can sign in with Twitter. You can sign in with Facebook. So that's just a way to talk instantly in real time and chat. And that's for meetups. That's for those who need they got a group of friends and they want to talk more so in private. You know, so that's what that is for. And the next section we have is groups. So groups, those are focused on a particular goal and subject. So you can request to join a specific group, or you can join more than one, and I will add you to the group. And from there, you can message one another, plan events, talk about different things that are different from the forum. And it's a lot more intimate. It's a lot more social. It has a more social media component to it. And some of the groups to start are, you know, the Black American Lineage Club. And again, we can add as many groups as you want. You can actually create groups from here, I believe. So you can create a group. As long as, you know, if you want a gun club group, whatever, we could add it. So there's a Black American Lineage Club. There's a Black Men's Club. There's a Black Women's Club. There's a peptide addiction course group that was for Black women only. That's for a course that I had on the school. And then there's prepping and survival group. These are community based. Like, this is where you start to meet up with motherfuckers. Like, y'all gonna be meeting up. We gonna be meeting up and whatnot, depending on the group. See, I'm in a couple of the groups. Myself. And there's a Python group for computer programming. I'm going to change that from Python group to probably like software engineers, because I want something where the Black Americans who are software engineers, techie heads, product managers, I want them to be able to have a group that they can network with. And that's not just for that, but we can do stuff for the vocational fields too, for like Black plumbers, Black electricians. We want something for everybody. Even we have the Queen Mothership group, I believe. Oh yeah, the Queen Mothership group is a secret society, so that is something that would be very hard to get into, and there's things that I'm building out around that. We have the Single and Ready to Mingle Club, so that's for the singles. That group is where you just meeting up to date. You're single and you're ready to mingle. It's exactly what it says. Then we have a think tank strategy for the Queen Mothership men and women. Again, that is the secret society. So the think tank strategy group is very hard to get into. It's not something that you can just request. You would need to fill out an application. You would need to take a test and go through the various measures to determine whether or not that you would be a good candidate, a trusted candidate to be in such a group, because the Queen Mothership group is for community building. You could be a man or a woman. The gender doesn't matter, but there are certain parameters, certain values, certain tenets that we're looking for. So that is what that is. And again, we can add any type of group. I'm looking forward to adding more groups, but I need you to go and sign up. It's free. You're not getting charged anything. You go and sign up and just create a post for me, create a forum, create something, request to join a group or whatnot. Just do that. And I know I created some scratch, so we're starting from scratch. Like, this is brand new, so we'll have to take that time to build it up. And so it takes some time to process, but we can do that. We can build community if we are really serious, and we can do it online and then bring it to the physical realm where we can meet up. But we got to collate we have to collate it by groups. We have to collate it by interests. Then we can bring it to the physical realm and meet up, get some shit done on the ground. So now let's talk about the centers that we have at Nakhti University, because these is what these centers that you see. So you got the Black American Research, Cultural, and Policy Center. This Black American Research and Cultural Policy Center is an independent and non-partisan repository, and it spreads political and cultural awareness nationwide throughout Black American communities. So I'm reading that verbatim off of the site. So that is this where you see all of my videos. You see a lot of the videos that I'm talking about. A lot of that stuff, I put a lot of research into it. I talk about things relating to culture. I talk about things relating to policy. So why don't we just start a center? And we can disseminate that information. So we also have some research articles that I wrote. Eventually what we want to do is include articles that you may write and give you credit for it. Make sure your name is on it, and do it that way. That would be really cool to have some research articles. And it don't have to be like PhD level research. We could be undergraduate level. You can be undergraduate level. You can also be a master's degree, or even high school for if you have something that you wanted to write regarding community and you're in high school, that's fine as well. So I want to read this to you verbatim off of the site. Our goal is to build community by delineating Black Americans for political, ethical, and cultural reasons, and to foster an appreciation for and increased knowledge of Black American history, Black American culture, and their vast contributions to the world. So one of the goals is to advance research. The center will plan and maintain a community-engaged, focused, and high-quality research program. The center's research program should focus on existing knowledge regarding Black Americans and should be directly linked to their demands and interests. The center will also communicate research. The center will devise and implement a dissemination plan that communicates findings from research conducted both inside and outside of the center, as well as boost people's usage of research and data for researchers, federal, state, policymakers, and community members. So that just means is that the research that we do for this center, or that I do, whatever we do, that dissemination of it, we want it to eventually have an effect in the way we talk, because the way your consciousness shifts is the way things get implemented. So just you stating certain talking points, having certain knowledge in your brain, and when you go to make change, or you go to affect change, because this is more of a repository. It's not necessarily a organization that, you know, fights for, you know, in politics or anything like that. But that's not really the goal. But you could take the talking points that you get from the research and put it in policy, put it in federal shit like that, and spread it throughout the community. Like when I talk about the genocide, framing the reparations under the genocide thing, which I think would be more valiant than some of the stuff that's going on now. But I'm not knocking anything. I'm just saying, like, if we look at that as a form of genocide currently going on, and that has always taken place for the last 400 years, then we can use the words genocide. We can use it throughout and start to really get it disseminated, like we are being genocided, and be serious about it. And then we start to see, you know, next thing you know, we'll have policies that prevent genocide. That's the goal in terms of that research. So a great deal of work is focused on culture, family, social support, policy, sexual health, and philosophy. Modern research may be divided into the following thematic domains: discrimination and racism, reparations via cash infusion and land acreage, culture, genocide and ethnocide prevention, delineation and preservation of unique identity and ethnicity, politics, sexual health and family planning, identity, and economics. So that is just some of the research themes that we can focus on for that center. So that is the Black American Research, Culture, and Policy Center. Please check that out. Look at the videos, look at the articles, add to it. You know, you can hit me up and say I have an article that I want to disseminate to the community. You don't have to be 10 page, 20 page. It could be 2 pages of something that you discussed regarding the community. And even if you're, you know, a Black American that's not in America, you're overseas or something, for something like that, and you want to get something out, we will put it on there. Absolutely. So the Center for Sexual Health and Family Planning for Black Americans, that is another thing I want to talk about, because, you know, that's like, oh, sexual health, what does that mean? You know, so that is very controversial, but we're going to talk about it in detail. By the time we're done, you'll be much more comfortable with what I'm going with this. But in the center I created because the sociology of human sexuality was something that I used to study for a long time. It's a subject that still fascinates me. So I've always studied sexuality. I've always studied, I usually used to do it from more like the tantric point of view. So it was nothing where I was doing like these low vibrational freaky stuff or nothing like that. And that's what people are into. I don't judge that. But actually 2 of my mentors were into like, you know, like the BDSM stuff and whatnot. So I had learned from them. They were incredibly intelligent people. Like, but in their private lives, that's what they did. But they were sex researchers, you know, and they had some amazing research, and it really opened my mind into like the mind of sexuality. So, you know, that was interesting to learn about, and so I've just always studied that on my own. But I usually just more so the philosophical aspects of sexuality. I'm not a prude, but you know, I have my thoughts on how to go about that. So that's why the center is really important, because I want to encourage high vibrational sexuality. I also want to promote family, like the idea of bringing back this real strong immediate families, nuclear families, as they say. I believe that's the term that they're using for it. But for me, it's like this is supposed to be extremely educational and fun. And we're emphasizing family, we're emphasizing marriage, we're emphasizing procreation under stable family units, and we're emphasizing passion, right? So those are the things that we're emphasizing, a lot of love. So getting back to promoting love in this community and really looking at it from the sexuality point of view, because sex is the greatest way you can express your love. It's the act of creation itself. You can manifest through sex. You can do so many things through sexuality, and of course create another damn human being. So it has to be special. That energy has to be special. So what we want for the Black American community is for them to see themselves as special conduits, special beings on this planet, where they can enjoy their sexuality with a lover, a person that they love, getting married, building family, encouraging the building of that family and procreating, because our numbers, we have about 40 to 80 million, and we want to focus on the quality of the human, not the quantity, but the quality of the Black American. So we've always had a history of being sophisticated people, of being of high quality anyways. But what we want to do is really emphasize that high vibrational sexuality, where we're focusing on a family, we're focusing on that passion, and just an education, because a lot of us are not educated properly on sexuality by our parents. They get scared. Everybody act like they don't know shit. Everybody acting, they just leave you to the wolves, and you end up here impregnating somebody or getting pregnant or some shit. And nobody taught you how to love. Nobody taught you how to view sex properly. And even in the music, you get, it'll say, beat the pussy up, or I break your back off. I'm gonna bend you over like a pretzel, and I'm gonna slap your ass real hard, and I'm gonna pull your hair and skeet on you. And that low vibrational shit compared to when the Isley Brothers was out, when they was doing they shit, when they was singing they songs. I want stuff like that again. I'm gonna need y'all to start singing like Bobby Womack. I'm gonna need that on my damn radio again. So that's where it starts, through the sexuality and through the viewing the body as that conduit, as a temple that can express love with another person. It's not about beating up somebody, beating up the pussy. I'm gonna break your penis and all this stuff, and I'm gonna sit on it and break it off and ride it so hard, and all of this craziness. I'm looking like, what is going on? And I'm only 30 years old, but my soul is real old. But I'm looking like I'm still listening to the Marvin Gaye, and they even say Marvin Gaye did some things or whatever. I don't know how true that is. I never looked into it. But anyways, I still be listening to the Isley Brothers. I still be listening to Bobby Womack, Bootsy Collins. I mean, I be getting my life too, because I was adopted by an elder. My granny, I told y'all the story. Go look at some other stuff if y'all need to know my life story in terms of how it goes, you know. But that's all we listened to. We never, we was listening to 97.3 WBOK for a little bit. But for the most part, me being raised, I definitely remember listening clear as day to Gladys, and the old school stuff, Patti LaBelle, mad old stuff. So that stuck in my head growing up. Like if you 5, 6 years old, 7 years old, that's all you allowed to listen to. You know, you listening to Bootsy Collins, you listening to the Gap Band, and that's gonna be your shit. You still gonna like them songs. So that's what I was exposed to. So growing up, that's all I loved, hands down. You couldn't tell me nothing bad about James Brown and all them niggas. Even though, and even with my friends in high school, you should see they used to be cracking up, because it was I felt like I was in a time warp. I took you back to when Pretty Ricky came out. When it's 5 a.m, Pretty Ricky came out, everybody was singing that song. I could not relate to that. I was like, what in the world? So I'll never forget my friend. She wanted to play that jam. We was in high school. She wanted to play that song so bad. And I come playing my little songs. She said, man, if you don't turn, and we crack about this to this day. We literally laugh about this to this day, because we remember it like clear as day. And I can't play it. It was a real beautiful love song. Probably one of the DeBarge. Remember El DeBarge and Anna? We had them beautiful love songs. I started playing that. She said, man, if you don't turn this Mr. Rogers shit off and play my shit. And she pressed the play button. 5 in the morning, I want to have some sex with you. So, and I'm looking like, oh, like, I mean, to me, my soul just couldn't relate. I'm like, so vulgar, but okay. It gets like that sometimes, but we had like complete different taste in music. Nowadays she understands. Now she's listening to this stuff I listen to, but I always had that old ass soul boy. But anyways, that's what this center is about. This, when we talking about sex, we gonna get deep. We gonna talk about the sexual acts, how to do it, what to do. It's not going to be much demonstration, just going to be very educational, like a course, you know, like how you take a high school sex ed class. It's going to be like that, but it's going to be more for the Black American. It's going to be relevant to the Black Americans, Black people, because, you know, we have our own culture, we have our own way of relating to one another. So that's what this is about. This is about marriage, family, procreation, passion, and fun. You know, so that's what it's about. It ain't gonna be, you ain't gotta worry about, you know, some nasty stuff in terms of me exposing, you know, stuff to children, nothing like that, or me trying to promote an agenda. Because again, this is all out of pocket. I don't have any agenda outside of seeing the quality of life rise for our people. So that's pretty much my agenda, if I was to have one, to restore the Queen Mothership. But the Queen Mothership is based off of one man, one child, and one woman. Is based off of a union and family. It's really pretty much what it's. The Queen Mothership is family and community building. Like, seriously. But it's reversing the laws, reversing back the natural law of the law of gender, because what happened is, everything they're doing now is they reversed it. So they teach you the law of gender in reverse. And that is where you have all these problems. That is why you just see the relationships just go to shit. It's because the stuff is reversed. I'm not talking about traditional gender roles. I'm talking about like the science of electromagnetism itself, and the way we view women, the way we view men, and how when you put it under religious dogma, how you get confusion, how you get bullshit, because those religions are redacted. So they took out the parts of the divine feminine. So if indigenous systems were always promoting the divine feminine and the divine masculine in equal amounts, and had a reverence for the divine feminine, then that is what we should be doing. And whether that was in North America and Africa, you can see both instances of this happening. You can see when it fell, you can see when it switched, you can see when men wanted power, pretty much. And so it's not to say that men should not have power in Queen Mothership. Both should have power, both should be speaking, but not like your individual household. You may be patriarchal, your individual household you may be matriarchal. Or you may be egalitarian, where there's no gender roles at all. That's your personal business. But as far as the structure of community, that needs to be ran a certain way, with a man and a woman running it. Not so much where the community is so male identified, and that causes dysfunction. So you need both, and we're going to have both. So that is why I talk so much about that Queen Mothership like that. And so that is what the Center for Sexual Health and Family Planning. I do want to read to you verbatim what this stuff means, so then you can pick it apart for yourself and see, like, okay, I see where you're going with this, because there's a language in which I communicate. You know, it's more, you know, in an educational sense, versus me just talking to you just off the rip like how I'm doing now. But I want to read to you verbatim what it says. So it says, the Center for Sexual Health and Family Planning for Black Americans at Nakhti University collates and produces research toward advancing sexual health and the nuclear family via research, education, and workshop efforts. It aims to provide non-dogmatic education on sexual health themes to students and the community through various creative and collaborative means. The center seeks to fill a unique niche in sexual health research by encouraging positive Black American sexual attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors between men and women. At the heart of our mission is a dedication to letting Black American scholars and sexual practitioners produce work or participate in rigorous research related to sexuality. The primary goals for sexual health and family planning for Black Americans are to provide non-dogmatic education on sexual health, human sexuality themes to students in the community through various creative and collaborative means. So that's just like videos, like me putting a lot of that stuff together for us. in a very educational sense. And you know, for instance, one of the topics is going to be the benefits of semen, or the benefits of vaginal secretion. Like, there's objective benefits to those body fluids that is not well known in our community, and we could benefit from knowing the value, the metaphysical properties and the physical properties. So that way we have both, and we're like, okay, so we understand what this means when we actually engage in this act, and this is how we can elevate this act, and this is how we can manifest from this act. So we're going to be going really deep there. But that's all that means, non-dogmatic education. So we ain't coming to you with religion, we ain't coming to you with dogma. It's really just like, okay, here is the objective education about sex. It's simple as that. So the next one is to reconnect and build healthy, loving relationships, to help Black Americans feel confident in their sexuality, to create more fulfilling relationships, to help Black Americans communicate more effectively in the bedroom. I know that stuff did much, like communicate more effectively in the bedroom. Like, really? But that's what I was talking about, that change in the language of how we view sex, you know, in terms of getting away from the, I'm going to beat the pussy up, I'm going to break your back, I'm going to break, you know, I'm going to, you know, like that kind of nonsense. You know, we want to get it to where we fostering love. I want to love on you. I want to encourage you, your higher self. I want to really get deep and spiritual with you and make you feel good. I want to please you. Those type of things you want to say, you know, in your songs and in the music, like how back in the day. So, and the next one is to partner with community-based and grassroots organizations to foster beneficial research and service. So that last part just means we don't mind collaborating with, say, sexual practitioners, like tantric practitioners, people who do these things for a living. We don't mind, you know, having a research program, or having a workshop with them to have them teach. You know, to remember, you know, it was it was a video of the lady. She used to teach how to, you know, give oral sex and all those things. I forgot her name, was Auntie Angie or something. But she, you know, like, I'm just saying, like, those type of things. But it has to be authentic. I like genuine stuff. I don't like stuff that's too produced. Y'all remember that show Candy Coated Nights? That was the best show on earth. Like, when it was on Ustream and it was just raw, no production, no, you know, it was just like, just so genuine. And I love shit like that. I love when it's just off the rip like that. But that's what I would like. I used to watch Candy Coated Nights. Boy, you couldn't tell me nothing. That show used to come on, I believe, on Wednesdays at the boutique. She used to be hosted in the boutique. Man, you would have thought that was like, you know how people be loving college football, or they be just their favorite show. That's how I was with that. That's how I was with that show, Candy Coated Nights. That was my damn show. You can tell me nothing. So now that is the center for the sexual health family planning. So you see, it ain't too crazy. You know, it ain't like, oh, I'm be trying to, you know, get people to feel uncomfortable or anything. This is a very fun atmosphere over here. You know, let yourself, you know, be yourself. You know, that's all it is at the end of the day. So now I just want to read the next section that we have. So this is the online meditation sessions. Those are 50 minutes long. They are bi-weekly. And I will be guided in meditations, or we can have someone else guide it. But the meditations are virtual. They'll be held on Zoom for now. It's just like this is all from scratch. We have to build this up, and we'll be able to do things in person. We'll be able to create little pods, like hodgepodge, community, like pods. That's the word that I think of. Like, you know how whales and they travel in the pods. I think about that for our community, how they have something to do with pods. So eventually we'll get there, and I'll express that in more detail, what I mean by that. But the meditation is a part of the emotional health curriculum. It's part of the mental wellness part that I was talking about at Nakhti University. You guys know, recently I just dealt with a big mental health crunch around August 20th. Like, that really took me out for a loop, having to deal with my mental health like that. So I always emphasize mental health because I've always had like social anxiety and stuff like that. But like, I never dealt with nothing like that, where I had a full-blown nervous breakdown, you know, like that was kind of like, whoa, but it was real. and it was public, so that was also like, oh shit. And I had to stabilize and get back to myself, and you know, so I say that to say that the meditation is great. I used to do meditation, and I used to do Vipassana meditation, and now I do transcendental meditation. You know, meditation is great. It's helped me to filter out a lot of that anxiety, to filter out a lot of all of that thoughts. You know, I'm a thinker. I'm always thinking, so it helps in that sense. So the next section that we have on the center is to view all of the videos, and that's just, you know, all the videos that I have done. It's a section for that. And that's pretty much it. So that is our community center. So I want you to join. You know, you click the link to join. Make an account. It's free to join. And we have to build this from scratch. So we need people to get on there, start to make a post or whatever, and be in these groups and really start to interact with one another. That's the goal. And we're aiming, our target audience obviously is Black Americans, but we know that, you know, even with my energy, I come with a certain energy, so that's a reflection of me, you know, so it's the things that I am into. But again, this is for all of us. You can add groups, you can create more forums, you can do whatever you want. It's collaborative, it's social, and it's for us. So sign up and get in the forums, make a post for me, talk to one another, and I'm going to be in there. I'll talk back as well. You know, I'm a very much communicative person, you know, when it comes to that stuff. So I'll be looking out for it as well. So please sign up, and again, support me so I can do more things for us and keep things moving. And I love you. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Bye.